Hi and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA, the soccer show that's got it all. We always start first with our last one standing, and it's come down again. Not as many as we thought, Budge, but it has dropped from 53 to 44.
44, yeah. Only 9 went out, Paul.
Yeah, the guys who went out were Chelsea 4, Leeds United 4, and Watford 1.
Yeah.
The big winners were Tottenham 27.
27,
So 44 go through. It's tougher now.
Oh, Paul, yeah.
Now, I always like to have a look at the ladies. And you've got 2 ladies left. Catherine Armstrong, who won it,
Reigning champion.
and Michelle Tovey.
Yeah, Michelle going well. I just hope she doesn't take Neil's advice.
Oh, well, then she'll end up with Arsenal. And only one former champion left, eh?
Yeah.
Sean Phillips. Well done, Sean Phillips. You've gone through. International entrance. Mine went first week.
Yeah,
Francois Demi, Mauritius.
yeah.
Steve Potter, UK. Nigel Swinbank, he's still going strong in the UK.
Nice.
Is he travels all the time,
Well,
doesn't
he was supposed to be going to the Ashes, but he can't, Paul, so otherwise he'd be in.
And Colin Young.
Yeah, that's Catherine's father, Catherine Armstrong's father.
Oh, okay, so they both know their football by the look of things. Right, now we always like to look at Budge, who's got the number of picks left. And this time, the man with the most is Rian Dioga.
Paul, he only had 3. It's like Des Faree. Des had 2. Mixing and matching, going well. And then your mate.
And then Lawrence Werner's hanging tough with 2. Toad favourite, Mo Mall.
Paul, yeah, just look at the teams he can still use. So at the moment, but
Will he use them?
Well, we never know, Paul. But he survived last week with Newcastle, so he's got 1 or 2 big teams in the bank. So let's see what happens.
Right, so it starts again.
And you're still in, Paul. I think it's the furthest you've got.
I'm hanging. No, I got to the final 9 and final 14.
Okay.
You know, but I'm final 44 now.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, let's see if we can get Stevie B on the show. So how's it going in London? He's probably watching cricket.
Steve, good morning.
Good morning, guys. No, I've turned the cricket off. It's painful.
I'm sure it was painful, yes.
Toss and batted.
149 for all out. I saw that. Anyway, Steve, talking about painful. You know, Man City getting beat by RB Leipzig. I know they did rotate their team, but they still had a strong side out.
Yeah, and I thought, I mean, to the credit to the English teams, they'd all gone through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, City, as you say, they're rotated. They probably did enough to get a point out of it, but in the end, I'm sure Pep wasn't overly concerned. They'd won the group, and that's all that really mattered. The same in a way for Liverpool, who did very well. You know, rotated the same against an AC Milan side that really looked quite lacklustre for most of the game.
Yeah.
So I think the only one where there's a result riding on it was Chelsea, and I think giving away that it was a good goal, but giving away that late goal might cost them, because they're now finishing second in their group, and they're in the draw with, potentially Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that's true. I did watch that game. I was surprised he changed most of his back 4. I couldn't believe he started Ross Barkley in midfield. Yeah,
I mean, he obviously wanted to rotate a bit, and they started off well. I mean, they could have been more than 1 up in the first few minutes, and then they obviously had a wobble, got back in the second half, and then they just couldn't quite sort of manage the game. And it was a good goal, the equaliser, but they're probably disappointed by that, because to finish second in the group, they're obviously the teams they could have avoided otherwise. They might get there.
Yeah, Man United, I see, rotated their whole team, played 1 million youngsters, and were lucky to draw 1-1.
Young boys.
Yeah. I think again, I was watching him being interviewed last night. He said he wanted to give others an opportunity, and in the end, I guess they could have lost it, but they didn't need a result, and I suppose it was an opportunity for him to see some more of the squad play.
Yeah, I watched the Bayern Munich-Barcelona game. By the first 15-20 minutes, it was one-way traffic. Barca are in serious trouble.
One-man team.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone can remember the last time they didn't qualify to go through into the latter stage of the Champions League, and they dropped into the Europa.
Yeah.
So they're having a difficult season. They're adrift in La Liga. So I think maybe the Europa might be their target this year.
Yeah, the way they're playing, I don't think they'll win that. Talking of the Europa, Steve, you've got 2 games on tonight. West Ham are at home to Dynamo Zagreb. Do you think he'll rotate his full side?
Yeah, I think he will rotate a bit. I mean, obviously they're through. He's obviously got injuries to two key centre backs. I don't think he's going to want to necessarily risk the rest of his fit ones. So I suspect he will rotate. I mean, they've got a decent squad, West Ham, so I think he'll do that. And I'd be surprised if they didn't either win or at least draw.
Yeah, the big game is Napoli hosting Leicester. How do you see that?
Tough game for Leicester.
Yeah.
Tough game. I mean, Napoli played very well in the latter stages of the first game. They've not done as well as one would have expected in this group, but Leicester can't afford to lose that, and he'll need to play a strong team, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, the Tottenham game, Steve, what's the latest? We've heard it's off, we've heard it.
The last I heard this morning is that it's off. I read have appealed because the rules state that if they have 13 fit players, they have to play. And my understanding is they've got 8 players out of their 25-man squad. So I think Rennes maybe have a right to appeal, but at the moment it looks like it's off.
Okay, sure, but okay. Well, one game that won't be off is tomorrow night, Steve. London derby, Brentford versus Watford. Relegation game, I think. How do you see it?
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game. I mean, neither team wants to lose that. Watford obviously, they've come in with Ranieri, but they've played a lot of big games recently, and apart from the United game, they've come unstuck. Brentford, it's going to be a tough game. I think if Watford get a point there, they'll be doing well. For me, it's either a home win or a point or a draw.
Okie dokie. Arsenal.
Just to ask you, Stevie, a quick question here. Is Watford a London club?
Technically, just about.
Get off the fence.
Just about. I mean, they're on. You can get an underground train to Watford.
Yeah.
So,
How far from Victoria Station?
but that's it. Probably about 15 miles.
Okay, 15 miles. Okay, not too bad. So you can call it London because they're in the greater London area.
Gee, this pushy. Next thing.
Okay. Now talking about another London team, should Arsenal be too good for Southampton?
I would think so. Well, Southampton have been a bit up and down. They do decent good football, but I think Arsenal should be a little bit strong. They've got a good. Apart from the couple of defeats, they've been doing quite well. So I fancy Arsenal to win that.
Okie dokie. Burnley, West Ham on Sunday.
Yeah, I think there'll be a close game. Now, it depends. If Ham are playing a strong team on tonight, but I'm not sure they will.
No.
They will risk all their best players. I think West Ham are probably good enough to get a point. I mean, they had a bit more ball, yet they come back and they beat Chelsea. So you're not quite sure what you're going to get. If they play with that same intensity as they did in the second half, I think they'll be unbeaten, West Ham.
Okay, Leicester City versus Newcastle. Is that the upset of the weekend?
Well, I mean, again, have to play a strong team if they want to progress in the Europa.
Yeah.
And that sort of play into Newcastle's hands. Newcastle obviously desperately needed that win the other day. Whether or not they're going to carry that forward, they had a big win at Leicester last season. So I think if Newcastle's going to start to turn it around, you look at their fixtures, this is one they need to at least get a point out of.
Okay, and the game I think should be quite a cracker. Sunday night, Crystal Palace against Everton.
Yeah, I mean, Everton showed a lot of fight the other day. I mean, Arsenal could have beaten them, but they came back strong, Everton, and got that win. I think that Palace had a little bit of a wobble. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Everton get something there.
Okie dokie. Steve, onto the championship. Your Fulham boys joined the last 3. You see them rebounding at Luton Town?
Yeah, it's going to be Luton are a funny team. They're very up and down. You're not sure what you're going to get from them. I'd be disappointed. For us, we'd be disappointed not to win. Obviously we've been held in our last 3, but we're still top. And I think that with a almost fit squad, I think we should go there to get 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, Bournemouth, Blackburn, the big game in the championship. How do you see it?
Well, I think it to be a tight game. Blackburn are actually top of the form guide.
Yeah.
In their last 8 games, they've won 6 and drawn 1 of their last 8. I think they're going to give Bournemouth a good game. Bournemouth defended well against Fulham, but they didn't show a lot in the second half. I think Blackburn have got a huge amount of confidence, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go there and at least get a point.
Okie dokie. Stoke City, Middlesbrough, 2 teams looking to sneak into the playoff places.
Yeah, I think Stoke had a good win the other day at QPR. I think they'll bounce back, and I think they'll get 3 points there.
Okie dokie. Swansea City versus Notts Forest?
Yeah, that's going to be good. I mean, Forest again, having a really good run, only one defeat in their last. Swansea have had a bit of a wobble, so I think there could be a little bit of surprise here. Swansea were strong at home, but they've lost the last couple.
Yeah.
I think Forest could upset them.
Okay, and can Peterborough upset Millwall?
I would be surprised. They're not bad at home, Peterborough. They score a few goals, but Millwall are very hard to beat.
Yeah.
I think I'd be surprised if they lost that. So to me, it's looking like a draw there.
Okie dokie.
Just got breaking news. The game's off tonight. Tottenham versus Rennes is postponed and first team area of training ground closed.
Okay.
So the game's off tonight, Steve.
All right. So you.
Yeah, I thought it would be. They were obviously pushing for it to be off. They've got to fit it in though. You know, they've got a lot of games, Tottenham.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to fall behind. They've already had one postponed at Burnley because they're going to have probably the Brighton game postponed. They're going to have a bit of a fixture backlog.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. All right, Steve, pressure time a game. I need your best bet and value bet, please.
Well, you might as my best bet. I'm going to go for PNE. I think that Preston.
Who's he going for?
I think
Preston.
too strong at home for Barnsley.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Steve. Totally agree. And your value bet?
I'm going to go for Forest to win at Swansea. I just think they might surprise. They might surprise them. One defeat in 12. They're having a good run.
Yeah, so just unbeaten and 8 away from home. Yeah, I saw them. They were on the other day when they drew with West Brom. I was impressed with them. Yeah, that's why I went for them last week. But Championship hotting up, Steve.
Yeah.
Good luck with your team on Saturday. Yeah, plenty.
We need to keep. For us, it's keeping the gap between third place.
Yeah, but you've got to start winning, Steve. You've drawn 3. You don't want to draw in 5 games, and then the difference.
To catch it.
Yeah. Now I think you get a result, Steve. Confident about that.
You won't get a result in the cricket, but you get a result in the football.
No, there will be a result. We'll lose.
Yeah, correct.
Thanks, Stevie. Thank you very much.
All the best, Steve.
All the
Thank
best,
you.
Steve. Thank you. Always great to talk to Steve.
Yeah.
Steve,
Except cricket, Jazz.
he knows his cricket. He's always that bloody lord sitting down there with his tie on.
Sing
and
all the
that.
dukes, yeah.
He sits with all his relatives. Right, thanks to Stevie. Let's move on now. We're going to talk about the Premiership fixtures that Budge is going to go through for us. You touched on Brentford and Watford.
Yeah, Paul, big game, Paul, especially for Watford. You know,
Yes.
Brentford, you don't want to lose to the teams that are going to be in your immediate position.
Yes.
So, you know, I just think there
how
has to
you
be
tipping
goals.
it? How you
Well, I
tipping it?
like Watford. I know they've lost their last couple, but they fought hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat
They
Man
played
United,
well.
were bad,
Played
but
well.
they did play well. You know, they come up against Liverpool and Man City. Just worry about.
Man City too strong for Wolves.
Yeah, it should be, Paul. You know, when you watch the Wolves-Liverpool game, Liverpool's final pass let them down all the time. It won't happen with Man City.
Okay.
I think they'll win comfortably, Paul.
1-6. Arsenal, Southampton. Arsenal 6-10. Southampton 4-1, basically.
Paul, it should be Arsenal, but I wasn't happy with what I saw them on Monday night.
Yeah.
I fancied Everton. I just didn't see anything from Arsenal. I know at home at the Emirates they're a different team. This is a big game for Arsenal. They want to sneak into 4th place. They've got to win this, Paul. Southampton, you never know.
So where are you going to go?
It should
Arsenal
be. I think
win.
there'll be goals, Paul. You've got to go for Arsenal. But in the exotics, I think they are, of all the top teams, they could be the top side that does slip up.
Chelsea 1-3. Now they slipped up.
They did slip up last night, Paul.
No,
But he
they got-
rested Rudiger and quite a few of them at the back, Thiago Silva. Leeds, Paul, you never know. Equalised last minute against Brentford. On current form, Paul, it should be Chelsea. You just don't know with Leeds.
You get
but
8-1 Leeds.
I can't take that, Paul.
Neither can I. Liverpool 1-4 against Villa.
the
Villa
Stevie
1-3
Gerrard.
4.
Yeah, Gerrard going back home. But can you imagine Klopp? He'll have them wound up. You don't want to lose to Stevie Gerrard, that's for sure.
Don't lose to anyone.
Yeah, but it should be Liverpool, Paul.
Yeah,
I think
at
it was
home- at home they're
14-10 to win both halves, Liverpool. I like that bet, yeah.
Okay, Villa will have a go.
Yeah,
They'll have
one
a
thing
go.
about them, they will have a go.
Okay, Norwich, Man United.
Paul, yeah, everyone's talking how great this manager is, how great our result was against Palace, but Palace should have equalised. You had a great chance.
Oh, great chance.
Paul, you know, you watched the Tottenham Norwich game. You said they had a few chances
I
before
was
Spurs
surprised. In
scored.
the first minute 2, Pookie on a small box line hit it straight at our keeper. The other striker, I can't think of his name, he missed it in front.
Yeah.
They had 3 definite goals. If they'd have gone to Van Nistelrooy or Kane or someone like that, there's 3 goals.
Yeah.
That game should have been 6-3 in our favour.
Yeah.
They're not the worst side
Not
in
the
the
worst,
world.
Paul.
They've
They should
got
have
a
beat
couple of
Wolves at
youngsters.
home.
Yeah,
I'm
they've got a
back
couple of
with-
youngsters that can gallop. It's always hard going to Man United with the new boss. I wasn't mad about Man United last night.
Neither was I. But Paul,
They should win.
On reputation alone with Ronaldo and co, they're expected to win, Paul. But
Yeah,
5 to 10,
I think United will win.
you know, not the best of prices.
Brighton,
Paul, you just
Tottenham,
don't know. You know,
will have the game. You know, Brighton have been 2 injury time equalisers. They haven't played brilliantly.
Paul, they haven't won in 10. They've drawn 8 of the last 10. You know, now one thing about Conte, if he has to play the game, he'll set up shop where they don't get beat too often.
Yeah.
I know Brighton play good football, but they just don't penetrate.
They're playing a quicker football. I like it, and maybe that's the answer. But a tough game.
Yeah, it's a tough call, especially with we don't know what's going on with COVID.
Yeah.
Paul, but really a tough call.
No,
there.
Burnley haven't played, and they got West Ham. West Ham had a fantastic win, but West Ham are very good at home.
Yeah. Paul, you know, great win against Chelsea. The first half an hour, I thought Chelsea were all over them. Once they got the penalty, then it was a different game. Yeah, I don't believe he'll play one of his big boys tonight. They've got a heavy schedule coming up. You're already top of the group. You'll play the youngsters.
He rested. No, he didn't. They played tonight. Sorry,
so he'll rest everybody. Burnley, Paul, they cost us our goals bet. I couldn't believe how bad they were against Newcastle.
Have they still got 2 strikers?
Paul, they still play with 2. They've only won 1 game this year, and that was to Brentford. If West Ham rest their main players for this game, I'm all over West Ham here, Paul.
You think West Ham will win?
I think West Ham will win, yeah.
Okay.
Because they can deal with the set pieces. That's Burnley's strength.
Yes.
They're even better at it. And I've got a 9-2 shot in that game, which will come up for that game, Paul. But I fancy West
Leicester
Ham.
City have had a mixed year.
Yeah. Paul,
They
got
Newcastle coming to town.
They should beat Newcastle. I know they've got COVID, but Maddison returns tonight. But even against Aston Villa, Paul, they had how many chances in the first half to score?
Yeah.
They just couldn't score.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a good game, Paul. I think Leicester will win, but it won't be easy. Newcastle fighting for their life. I think there's goals in it too, though.
I think the next game's an interesting game. Crystal Palace weren't that bad, but they are slipping down.
Paul,
they're losing games, but
you know, you have a look who they lost to. They lost at Man United. I think the crowd, they got intimidated, Paul, but they could have sneaked a point quite easily.
Definitely.
You know, Everton, you know, I fancied them last week. Everyone told me I was a lunatic. That Richarlison can play, Paul. 2 disallowed goals. It was 28-10 to score any time. Thank God I should have had a bet, but this could go any way, Paul. I think there's goals in this game. You know, both teams have to get a result.
Have to. They're fighting.
This is 2-2 in my opinion, one of those type of results.
Okay, but let's go Championship. Now, Huddersfield are 11th, and they are joint favourites with Coventry, who are 7th.
Yeah. Paul, I think Huddersfield have won 2 of 9. Coventry have only won 3 of 10. A draw looks all over. Early kickoff, Paul. I was disappointed in Coventry last week. They were on at home against West Brom. They were 2 down, fought back late. Huddersfield don't get beat at home, Paul. So Huddersfield in the draw for me there.
Bournemouth fighting to stay there, get back Blackburn as visitors.
Yeah, you know, Bournemouth and Fulham are head and shoulders above everybody. Blackburn beat Preston last week. You just don't know what you're going to get away from home with Blackburn. There's definitely goals there, Paul. You know, I like Bournemouth of the 2 teams, but the exotics, you know, that could be the one you take a chance on.
Birmingham are dropping down the log, but
yeah, I like Cardiff for the 2 teams.
They're 21st.
Now they've got a new manager. His debut was against Preston. They won 2 wins and a draw away from home. They got beat at home last week, but that could be a draw or Cardiff for me there, Paul.
The struggling Derby.
Paul, they played well against QPR on Monday night. QPR scored late to grab them. Blackpool haven't won in 6. They had a good mini run. Paul, Derby in the draw for me there, Paul. I know they've lost 21 points, but they showed a bit of fight, especially at home.
Hull City 19th.
Paul, I couldn't have Hull
Bristol
City, but they've won
17th.
4 of the last 5, Hull City. Bristol City have lost 4 away from home. It's got to be Hull City in the draw, Paul. I couldn't trust Hull City at 12-10, but I don't see them losing.
Fulham.
Paul, that was a good game, them and Bournemouth last Friday, Paul. No, it cost us our bet. Paul, that was an outstanding game. If Fulham play like that, they'll destroy Luton.
Yeah,
9-10, Paul.
Yeah, 9-10, eh?
Yeah, good price.
Okay, the posh, Peterborough, Millwall.
Paul, as Stevie said, Millwall don't get beat too often. But Peterborough at home gave Fulham a game, gave West Brom a game. A draw's a player in that game, Paul. I don't see Millwall getting beat, but you'd have to include the draw.
The North End versus Barnsley.
Well, I agree with what Steve, you know, we could have beat Fulham, but it was a deserved point. We beat Bournemouth away. If we can't beat a Barnsley team at second bottom, I don't know, Paul. I think Preston the best bet of the Championship this weekend. At the price anyway.
Stoke City up 6, Middlesbrough 9th.
Paul, they beat QPR last week, and QPR was 1-0 and Charlie Oster missed a penalty. QPR had a million chance, ended up getting beat 2-0. This Middlesbrough, that's Chris Wilder's team. Slowly but surely, they're sneaking into the playoff places. But I don't see Stoke City getting beat, Paul, but it won't be easy for them to get a victory.
Okay, and then Swansea City and
No, I
Nottingham
like
Forest.
Forest are the two teams that don't get
So
beat
does
away
Steve.
from home.
So does Steve.
I think it's 8 wins, 8 without a defeat away from home. We went for Swansea the other day. They got beat by Reading at home. So
13 plays 14.
yeah, it's Forest for me.
West Brom are still up there, but
Yeah,
they're third. They're playing a Reading team that are... Sure, what do you think?
Well, Andy Carroll, there's goals in that, Paul, but at 5 to 10 West Brom is a bit short, but I was impressed with them against Coventry. Early on in the year, I thought they would be guaranteed automatic, but they slipped away.
Are Reading 20th?
Yeah, but Paul, they had a points deduction. I think they lost 6 or 9 points, so that's dropped
Excuse
them. Should be West Brom, Paul, but it was 9 to 10 over 2.5 goals. That's my suggestion.
Sheffield United QPR will be a tough
It
game.
will be a tough game, Paul. My each way is QPR. I couldn't believe how many chances they missed last week.
Yeah.
They got beat 2-0 by Stoke, but that was never a fair reflection of the game. Don't be surprised. Monday night so we can watch it. Don't be surprised if that's an away win.
All right, let's talk PSL, Bud. You got some results from Tuesday. TS Galaxy beat Chipper comfortably.
Yeah, comfortably. Chipper 1 up.
Okay, and then Cape Town City at 3-2.
Paul, there were some good goals in that game. Cape Town City were like 2-0 up, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. It was quite a good game.
Maritzburg, eh?
Maritzburg struggling, Paul.
Okay, now Wednesday's results are interesting. Sundowns beat Royal
Paul, I
AM
watched
3-2.
that game. It was 1-0 to Sundowns runaway, and the defender and the centre forward clashed. The centre half took him out. It should have been booking, red card. Went the other way, and they got to 3-0. They scored two goals late, Royal AM. They lost 3-2, but Paul, that could have gone either way. Royal AM on a bad side.
Okay. Now Swallows, oh man.
They scored
Dylan
late.
Kerr,
Last
another
20
win.
minutes they scored, Dylan. Got
He's
a good
doing
start.
all right, eh?
Yeah, 4 points first 2 games, Paul.
That's very good. Swallows beat Barocca.
Yeah.
And then, who's this?
Maruma Gallants, they won 1-0. Yeah, they scored late on as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
They got beaten by TPM Zemba. It's a good team from the Congo Democratic Republic and the CAF over the weekend. They drew 0-0. So they've got good form, Paul, but I didn't think them winning, especially after they've had so many games in CAF. But a good result for them. They're fighting hard.
Stellenbosch lost at home.
Yeah, Grobler scored in the 93rd minute. So good result. They've got a lot of injuries, Super Sport, but good result in Cape Town.
Heba Usutu held Pirates.
I watched it,
Amazulu
Paul.
won, Pirates
Lorch
won.
came on the last 25 minutes.
Who?
Lorch, he's a
Yeah.
good player, Paul. They should have won at Pirates
Lorch
at the
plays
end.
for the Bafana.
Bafana, geez, a chance he missed in the last minute was frightening. But Amazulu, hard to beat, but Pirates were impressed with him.
And then Chiefs
called off,
Arrows,
Paul.
Chiefs called off.
Yeah.
Right, let's look at the fixtures, Bud. This is interesting. Chipper play Amazulu.
Paul Chipper are poor. Amazulu, they draw too many games, but 16 to 10 is a great price for Amazulu, Paul. I
Okay.
fancy your Soto.
Swallows trying to keep rolling.
Yeah, tough game, Paul.
game.
Maruma Gallops,
Yeah.
draw 2-1 looks the right play. They both won't want to get beat,
Yeah.
especially Dylan. 4 points, get 5 from the first 3 games. He'll be happy.
Barocca, Cape Town City.
Struggling, Paul. Yeah, but Cape Town City don't seem to travel too well. They haven't won in 4. Another game, the draw's a player, but Cape Town City in the draw for me there.
Okay. Pirates at home to Galaxy.
Paul, Pirates are a good team. They just can't score goals. They should have won easy last night, just the second half that I watched. TS Galaxy have had a bit of form, struggling away from home, but it should be Pirates, Paul, but you never know with the way they finish at the moment.
Supersport are third. Sundowns obviously top.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sundowns, Paul, you back them. 8 to 10 is a great price.
Is
Now,
it?
that was the betting before games last night, Paul, so there may be 1 or 2 variations, but, you know, Sundowns always normally beat Supersport, and that's how I see it.
Royal AM, Golden Arrows.
Good game, Paul. That's at Chatsworth. They're a good team. Golden Arrows are hard to beat, Paul. I don't see Royal AM losing. In the exotics, it'll be Royal AM in a draw, but I like Royal AM there. I think there'll be goals,
Okay.
but
Maritzburg, Stellenbosch.
Paul, you know, Maritzburg at home are always hard to beat at Harry Gwala. Stellenbosch, I know they're high in the league, but they've fallen off the places. They got beat yesterday at home. Don't be surprised if Maritzburg win, but the draw's obviously a player.
Okay.
Well,
The
we
Chiefs?
just don't know what's going on with Chiefs. They're going to make a decision. It was supposed to be yesterday. They haven't turned up to their last 2 games.
Why?
Well, they've got COVID problems. So we don't know whether this is going to be played or not, Paul. But that's the current betting.
Okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it gets called off again.
All right. Let's look at your 6s and 10s
Yeah,
and
Paul, we'll
13s.
kick off with our
Tell me
gold.
your thinking.
Yeah, our Gold Circle Soccer 6. I'm bankering Man City to beat Wolves. I'm going the field looking for the upset in the Bournemouth Blackburn Rovers game. I've thrown the draw in the Arsenal Southampton game. Likewise, Chelsea at home against Leeds United looking for the payout. I think Liverpool will be too strong for Aston Villa at home. And I'm looking for another upset. I'm going Man United in the draw at home against Norwich, 144.
Okie
On
doke.
to the Phumelela Soccer 6. I'm going the field in the Baraka Cape Town City game. I don't see Amazulu losing at Chipper United. I'm going the field in the Morocco Swallows Maroon McGallants fixture. I've thrown the draw and looking for an upset in the Orlando Pirates TS Galaxy clash because I think Man United will be too good for Norwich and Mamelodi Sundowns will beat Supersport 2-1-6.
Okie dokie.
On to our Gold Circle Soccer 10. I'm bankering Man City to beat Wolves. I'm going the field in the Huddersfield Town Coventry City game. I'm going Arsenal win and draw at home against Southampton. I'm bankering Chelsea to beat Leeds. Liverpool to beat Aston Villa. Onto the second page, I'm going Bournemouth win and draw at home against Blackburn Rovers. I'm going the field in the Derby County Blackpool match. I'm going for Fulham to be too good away from home against Luton Town. Going the field in the Swansea City Nottingham Forest clash, and I'm bankering Man United to beat Norwich City 2-1-6.
2-1-6.
On to the 13, which will be about 30 million this year with a carryover. I'm bankering Chelsea to beat Leeds.
You get all 13, you get the money.
Oh, yeah, I get the money, yeah, with a couple of results sprinkled in, yeah. Banking Chelsea to beat Leeds, Liverpool to beat Aston Villa, Man United to beat Norwich, and Arsenal to beat Southampton. I'm going Cardiff City, win and draw at Birmingham City, Bournemouth, win and draw at home against Blackburn Rovers, likewise Derby County, win and draw at home against Blackpool. On to the second page, I'm going Hull City to avoid defeat against Bristol City. I'm bankering Fulham to beat Luton Town. I don't see Millwall losing at Peterborough. I'm bankering Preston North End to beat Barnsley and ending up with Stoke City win and draw at home against Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest win and draw away at Swansea City 256.
All right, Budge, let's get rolling.
Yeah, Paul, a bit tricky, a lot of short
double?
ones, so had to be a bit inventive. I'm going Leicester City to beat Newcastle and both teams to score. And I'm going Thomas Souček to score any time for West Ham against Burnley. Yeah, very dangerous in the set pieces, and I fancy him. He's 9-2.
When last did he score?
He scored the other day. So 9-2,
You like
8-2.
Thomas
And he should have
Souček.
scored against Chelsea when he got in the box and he glanced it past the post. So I fancy him at a price. Over 2.5 goals quad, Brentford, Watford, Arsenal, Southampton, Norwich, Man United, and Crystal Palace, Everton, 2,200 to 200.
Okay.
On to the championship, I'm chancing Bournemouth to win and both teams to score. Preston to win, and I'm going over 2.5 goals in the West Brom Reading game, 2,600 to 200.
Okay.
Our team goals only, I'm going Man City to score over 2.5 goals. Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Preston to score over 1.5 goals. 15-1. 3,000 to 200 is our play.
Okay.
On to the PSL, we're going to have a dip this week. I'm going Amazulu to beat Chipper. I'm going Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Supersport. And I'm going both teams to score in the Maritzburg Stellenbosch and Royal AM Golden Arrows games, 2,500 to 200. And our Collis King
Collis
6
King.
and X. I'm going Man City to beat Wolves,
Yes.
Liverpool to beat Villa, West Ham to beat Burnley,
Uh-oh.
Preston to beat Barnsley, Inter Milan to beat Cagliari, and my best bet of the week, Real Madrid at 12-10 to beat Atletico Madrid, 2,600 to
But
200.
just before we go, your take on Barcelona?
Paul, woeful. Don't care how good your manager is. Paul, they've had bad signings, like Donny van der Beek's been at Man United. Frankie de Jong at the highest level hasn't produced.
Yeah.
And Memphis Depay and Dombele were playing on their own. At the back, they woeful. PK still playing.
Yeah.
They've got to
I
move
watched
him
him
on.
here for the 2010 World Cup.
Well, good player then.
Yeah.
I suppose since he's married Shaqiri, his form's gone a bit backwards.
Yeah.
But Paul, they're woeful. And they won't win the Europa League either.
Sure.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Barcelona in the Europa League.
Sure. Well, Budge, thanks very much. That basically sums it up. Don't forget last one standing. 44 people have gone through. It's this weekend. Is there a Friday night game?
Yes. Brentford, Watford. I don't think many people have used them.
Unless Mo Mol does.
Well, you never know. Mo's
You
on
never
a roll.
know, Mo. Until next time, stay on side.